Hey guys, it's Juan again from Physique Transformation Academy, and today I'm out on my morning walk, getting some steps in, getting some sunshine, starting the day off great. So, I want to tell you guys a little story, so it's story time. I've had a lot of new followers to my page, and a lot of you guys don't know my background on when I got started training in the big event that happened to me in 2020. So, I started lifting weights when I was about 17, it was 2009, and I saw a movie, Pumping Iron, and I thought, oh my God, this is my dream. I want to be a bodybuilder. So after a few weeks of getting everything prepared, reading on forums, the bodybuilding.com forums, for those of you who remember, I made it a goal that January 1st, I was going to start with a serious weight training program. Bought some weights off Kijiji, some secondhand weeder weights, and that was the beginning of my journey. It took me 5 years to step on stage. I had no desire. Well, back then there was no classic physique. I don't even think there was men's physique at the time. I think it was just bodybuilding. And I had zero desire to do anything other than bodybuild. So I started bodybuilding. It took me 5 years to step on stage for the first time. Made a ton of mistakes. Never had a coach in that time frame. Just made a lot of mistakes. But I got to step on stage at the OPA, back before CPA, Luchka O'Brien show. And that was in 2015. So I got to step on stage. And that was an amazing experience. And I loved it. And from there I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. My goal is to be a pro one day, and I just want to get better and be the best me I can be. So I kept training, I kept progressing, I did a few more shows, and in 2020, it was January 11th, I'll never forget, I happened to go to the gym, train legs that morning, come home. I had a child at the time, he was 1 year old, and my wife went to the gym, and I'm taking care of my son. And all of a sudden, life took a big change. Things started getting really blurry. I was cooking, my son was eating, and I couldn't remember I got really dizzy. From this point on, I more remember snippets like pictures. I don't quite remember a lot. So apparently I called my wife. I do remember having my phone in my hand, and I couldn't quite make out numbers. I couldn't quite make everything out. I was so confused. I called my wife, she's at the gym, and apparently I told her, hey, listen, I don't feel well. Something's off, but I'm okay. Don't worry about coming home. She knew that was a red flag, and I'm glad she did, because she came home right away from the gym. She saw the state that I was in. Pretty much imagine stroke symptoms. Speech was completely off. I was disoriented. Mind was not there. My son was crying. I had burned my hand on the stove. And I kept saying, I'm fine, I just need to sleep it off. Well, she called 911. They got there, they were calm. And apparently, as soon as they saw me and how I was acting, they started getting into serious panic mode. They're like, he may be having a stroke. After a lot of monitoring, a lot of tests, they took me to the hospital right away. They saw that I actually wasn't having a stroke. It was the opposite. I was getting too much blood flow, and I had a brain bleed in a certain part of my brain. And after a few days of testing, they saw I was actually diagnosed with something called an AVM, so an arteriovenous malfunction or whatever. What this means is that I had an improper connection of arteries and veins in my brain. Imagine the plumbing in your home. So imagine if the plumbing is done wrong. It's something physical. There's something physically wrong there. It had nothing to do with PEDs, anabolics, had nothing to do with training. It's just that improper connection. Now, most likely it was from birth. It was just something genetic. It could have formed. They don't know how these form exactly. They said it could have been a hard hit to the head at some point in my life. I've never been in a fight, so I don't remember ever getting hit in the head. But when you're a kid, sometimes you smack your head against things. Who knows where it was? And I can't think of a specific event that could have led to this. After that, I needed some brain surgeries, and I was really scared. They said that there is a probability that I would end up with brain damage for the rest of my life, perhaps memory loss. I might not have full function of my body, or I could just simply die on the operation table. Well, after the first brain surgery, it was supposed to only be one brain surgery. I had the first surgery, and from there, the doctor woke me up, and once I was up, they're like, okay, we got good news and bad news. The good news, we fixed up a lot of the brain. The bad news, you're under anesthesia for over 8 hours, and we didn't want to push you longer because there's high risk to this. So we need to go back in there. I was devastated. This was March 2020, sorry. January 2020, my bad. Well, from there, I was really sad because I just wanted to get this over with, just move on with my life. And I knew I had to get a second brain surgery. They said they were going to do it in a few weeks, as chances are I would be able to survive and everything would be okay. But, just be careful. I couldn't do anything. Well, fast forward a few weeks later, I got my surgery date for March, and COVID came. So they had to postpone the surgery indefinitely, as COVID really put a hamper in everybody's lives. I had asked the doctors, is there any possibility this can fix itself? They said that was impossible. They'd never seen that before. Seeing that it was something structural, right? Something has to be moved around in your head, again, like pipes in your home. Well, I kept praying, and I kept telling Jehovah God, I kept saying, God, if there's anybody who can do something about this, it's you. Because this isn't going to fix itself, and I need your help. Well, finally got my surgery date for June. I was out of the hospital on a Friday. I was doing cardio by Saturday. I was back in the gym by Monday. I had the worst headache of my life. And to be honest, it sucked going to the gym, but I just wanted to move. I found that just moving, I was using probably about 15 to 20% of the weight that I would normally do, not training anywhere near intensity. I couldn't squat. I couldn't do anything like that, but I just wanted to move. And I knew I loved the gym. So fast forward, got the surgery date for June, go in there. I want to just get this over with my life. I did have some side effects from all these surgeries. So I would get headaches. I would feel disoriented. I would feel dizzy. I would feel tired. Well, I go in, and the doctor wakes me up about 2 hours later. And he says, I couldn't perform surgery. And I was devastated. I just wanted to get this over with. Then I said, why? He said, the problem's fixed. It fixed itself. That's when I knew. That was one of the direct signs in my life, out of many other signs I've had in my life, that Jehovah God is real, and that God exists, and that miracles do happen. And that was my own personal miracle. So that happened. In that time frame, I had lost a ton of muscle. I was completely off testosterone. I was completely off a lot of things. I couldn't eat well, couldn't train well. So even though I tried my hardest, I just, I ended up losing a ton of muscle mass, gained a lot of body fat in that time. Not a lot of body fat, but just gained some body fat in that time frame. I was just a soft version of myself. From there, I said, okay, now it's back to training. Back to training a little bit harder, trying to push it. As time went on, I was able to step on stage again in 2021 at my best package ever. And I'm going to include some pictures of this stuff, guys. But as you see, I was just able to step on stage a few weeks ago at my absolute best ever, much heavier than I would have ever stepped on stage at. And thank God I have no side effects or symptoms now. I've been able to live a completely normal life since those surgeries. It did take about a year and a half for me to stop feeling those feelings of kind of a little bit of vertigo, a little bit of dizziness. And even to this day, I do still have some PTSD from this. Seeing that, for example, whenever I get a slight headache, could be anything, could be I'm just tired, could be just life, I freak out. I start thinking, oh my God, is this problem coming back? Am I going to have this issue again? Am I not going to be around for my kids? So I do have PTSD from that, but that's okay because we all have some sort of trauma in our lives. And I'm just so grateful for it, guys. So don't ever take your days for granted. Don't take life for granted. Tell the people around you that you love them. And life is too short to be around negative people. If something's negative in your life, ditch it. Get rid of them, even if it's family. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's my little bit of story about my head and my brain issues. And how I'm so grateful to God now that I'm able to live a normal life without any issues. And grateful to the doctors that helped me out at Hamilton General Hospital. Dr. Algier, to be specific. So thanks for watching, guys. And I appreciate all of you. Any help I can ever give you guys, please never hesitate to ask. And I'd love to be able to help you guys get on your fitness journey. Make sure to check out my website. Make sure, if you guys are interested in coaching, to sign up the application form.